Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection is set to bring the two most recent Uncharted games to PS5 and PC. After a brief period of silence following the reveal, a PlayStation blog post has confirmed when Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection will release, and the wait is almost over for PS5 users. While the PC version still lacks a release date, the PS5 version is set to launch on January 28, 2022. PS5 users will get to experience more visually stunning versions of the two games, as both will get a fidelity mode and performance mode. Fidelity provides 4K resolution at 60 FPS, while performance brings the game up to 60 FPS. Intriguingly, another graphics option is included, with Performance Plus offering 120 FPS, but at 1080p resolution. As far as new features go for the collection, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves will of course utilize PS5's defining traits, such as the PS5 DualSense controller's spatial 3D audio and haptic feedback and adaptive triggers for even more immersion on Chloe Fraser and Nathan Drake's last adventure. Load times will also apparently be near instant. While Uncharted fans have a lot of options to adjust how the games look and perform, they will also have a few options when it comes to their upgrade path. For those that did not own one of the games included in Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection, the two remasters will cost $50. However, those who owned either Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, Uncharted Lost Legacy, or the Uncharted 4: A Thief's End and Uncharted, the Lost Legacy digital bundle will be able to upgrade for only $10. It is worth noting that the physical and digital versions of either game are acceptable for the upgrade, though players will obviously still need their PS4 disc if they want to upgrade, as the disc must be inserted to purchase the game for $10 instead of $50. While this upgrade path system follows the same style as the remasters for games like Ghost of Tsushima and Death Stranding Director's Cut, the fact that it includes two critically acclaimed PS4 titles in one bundle makes the $10 upgrade even better. However, it is worth noting that those who downloaded Uncharted 4: A Thief's End through PS Plus are ineligible for the $10 upgrade path. While this is a fair stipulation considering that the upgrade path is meant for players who bought the games in the past, it is still worth noting for those who only played the fourth game through PS Plus. Further, fans of the multiplayer portion of Uncharted 4: A Thief's End and Uncharted Lost Legacy should be aware that it is not included in the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection. The PlayStation 5 upgrade for Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection has finally been given a proper release date, but along with that news comes the announcement that select people purchasing the remastered PS4 games will also be receiving a free ticket to the upcoming Uncharted movie, which premieres in theaters on February 18, 2022. The Uncharted film starring Tom Holland, Mark Wahlberg, and Sophia Taylor-Joy has been met with a relatively mixed reception based on the single trailer that's been revealed so far. Still, the free ticket that's bundled with the Legacy of Thieves collection can't hurt the movie, as it will likely convince some on-the-fence Uncharted fans to attend a screening. Not everyone purchasing the collection will be able to redeem a ticket, however, so here's how to make sure to be given a ticket offer when buying the PS5 upgrade. In order to secure a free ticket to Uncharted when it premieres in February 2022, fans will need to make sure that they pick up Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection exclusively through the PlayStation Store. The game will be available through other retailers, including Steam and the Epic Games Store, when the PC version launches. However, anyone purchasing the game outside of the official PlayStation Store won't be able to redeem a ticket. According to a PlayStation blog post, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves collection is available for pre-order now. Anyone pre-ordering it or purchasing it through February 3rd should receive a virtual ticket voucher following their purchase, as long as they're located in select countries. There's a discrepancy between the blog post that details the release information for the remastered collection and the specific page detailing the terms and conditions of the limited time offer regarding which countries the promotion will be available in. The blog post says that people in the US, UK, Australia, and New Zealand will all be able to redeem tickets. However, the terms and conditions only mention the US. The blog post does clarify that news on more participating countries is to come, so hopefully, Sony will clarify this at a later date. Those who've purchased the game or paid for the $10 upgrade through the PlayStation Store will be getting a voucher emailed to them on or around February 9, 2022 for a single 2D ticket to a screening of the movie through Regal Theaters. With a smart release date that narrowly avoids the busy February month of game releases, as well as a generous upgrade path, this news should please fans of the Uncharted series. Before long, they will be scaling buildings and gunning down foes in upgraded games that boast quicker load times and better visuals, as Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection launches January 28, 2022 on PS5.
Here, take the wheel, what? Out of your goddamn mind? Yep, probably!
Speaking of movies and games tie-ins, as Insomniac Games surprises Marvel's Spider-Man fans with some exciting news, as 2 more suits are coming to the PS5 version of the game. It has been confirmed that Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered will get 2 brand new costumes, both of which are pulled from the highly anticipated Spider-Man No Way Home. The new suits dropped on December 10th, exactly 1 week before Spider-Man No Way Home releases in theaters. While many had expected to see the outfits added to Marvel's Spider-Man 2 when it releases in 2023, few could have expected them to come to the original game. After all, the last time the game received new suits was over a year ago when the remaster launched, so these 2 additions came out of nowhere. As has been the case with other added suits, players will be getting access to them via a free update. Alongside official images of the 2 costumes, Marvel's Spider-Man fans were treated to a new trailer for the Ultimate Edition of Spider-Man Miles Morales. The bundle includes both Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered and its highly successful spin-off, with the trailer giving fans a glimpse of the 2 new MCU suits. It is worth noting that these additional costumes are only being added to Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, which means they are exclusive to owners of the PS5 version of the game. When asked by a fan why the decision was made not to include these cosmetic skins in Marvel's Spider-Man's original PlayStation 4 edition, Insomniac provided an answer that some fans are unsatisfied with. Insomniac responded to this inquiry with an explanation that regards previous updates to Marvel's Spider-Man on PS4. According to Insomniac, the choice not to have these new cosmetics available on both PlayStation platforms is due to an oversaturated amount of updates that already appear on the PS4 edition. Apparently, this wears on streaming performance from the PS4's hard drive, and the decision to give it to Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered on PS5 alone is to ensure optimal performance for PS4 users. Indeed, Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered's exclusive update then further substantiates the PS5 edition, which also features a completely separate facial model for Marvel's Spider-Man's Peter Parker, and added ray tracing, 3D audio and DualSense features that separates it apart from the PS4 edition. Both suits have been shown in the most recent Spider-Man No Way Home trailer, and they are very different from what is usually worn by the wallcrawler. The black and gold sold has led to plenty of speculation, with merchandise making it look as if it was imbued with Doctor Strange's magic. Other theories include it being the Iron Spider costume with the protective metal removed, though fans will likely have to wait for the movie's release to get answers. Regardless, the footage and gameplay make it clear that it looks great in-game. As for Spider-Man's integrated suit, the costume brings Peter's various MCU looks together, as the massive Iron Spider symbol is colored gold and combined with the black and red upgraded suit from Spider-Man Far From Home. I am having a blast messing around with both costumes in photo mode, creating homages to the film that will end the current Spider-Man trilogy. Further, with these 2 suits included, all 7 of Tom Holland's Spider-Man costumes are accessible in the game, with everything from the homemade suit to the stealth suit available. While fans will still be waiting quite some time for Marvel's Spider-Man 2 to make its debut, these suits are a great way to keep fans of the franchise busy. With so much Spider-Man content on the way, it is a great time to be a fan of the friendly neighborhood hero. Speaking of Spider-Man, the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Tom Holland praises Insomniac's Spider-Man and shares that a move scene in the game is used in Spider-Man No Way Home. Tom Holland has expressed recently at a promotional interview for Spider-Man No Way Home's press tour that the film has, in turn, adapted something from the game. Paula Del Castillo's interview with Tom Holland departs marginally from talking about Spider-Man No Way Home when he is asked if he has played Insomniac's Marvel's Spider-Man. Sony apparently sent Holland a PS5 with which he could play Marvel's Spider-Man on Spider-Man No Way Home set, so it is likely he was playing Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. Holland praises Marvel's Spider-Man, and also interestingly shares that a specific move from the game was taken as direct inspiration and used for a scene in the film.
New trailer, the second trailer, I was so excited because it reminded me of playing the new video game and, fighting with the Sinister Six. Was this video game an inspiration for the film whatsoever? And have you played the video game?
I have played the video game. I absolutely loved it. Sony were obviously very generous. We worked with Sony. They sent us a PS5 while we were shooting Spider-Man, and I would play it, when we were at home. And I loved it. I think the game is amazing. I think it's so fun. The swinging around the city is so well done. But I don't think it was really... There's actually one move that Spider-Man does in the game that we took and he does in the film. And it's really cool.
Holland does not state which move he refers to, nor does he narrow it down to a particular sequence. There are countless moves that could be drawn upon for inspiration between Marvel's Spider-Man's active combo finishers in combat, a web-swinging traversal animation, or a move utilized in a cinematic cutscene. Holland's Spider-Man is set to tackle at least 5 villains in Dr. Octopus, Green Goblin, Electro, Sandman, and the Lizard, so the potential for any such move to appear is endless while in these encounters. If the leaks and rumors are indeed true, Holland may not be necessarily referring to his own Peter Parker when he says that Spider-Man does the move in the film. It is equally as possible that Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield may perform the move from Marvel's Spider-Man instead of Holland. Spider-Man No Way Home employing a move from Marvel's Spider-Man demonstrates the significant influence that Insomniac's title has produced for the character, and if Holland is truly set for another trilogy of MCU films from Sony, players may expect a lot more influential collaborations between the two when Marvel's Spider-Man 2 releases, and it's just great to see the love for the Spidey universe.
What do you owe the city, huh?
I don't get to pick and choose when I'm Spider-Man.
Give up on this, young blood!
My neighborhood.
You can do this. Miles, you can do this. Hey, come on. I've never known you to give up.
Okay, Pete! Yes! I got this! Hey, Jonah! Looking good!
Very festive!
The PlayStation Studios brand features some of the industry's finest developers, and is always looking for expansion. In a year of many acquisitions, PlayStation Studios takes in one more development studio, Valkyrie Entertainment, a veteran studio that has worked on many massive games. Sony has announced that Valkyrie Entertainment is joining Sony's first-party development team at PlayStation Studios. The acquisition announcement comes from the head of PlayStation Studios himself, Herman Hulst, on Twitter. He speaks about where Valkyrie Entertainment will fit in the PlayStation Studios family, writing, "The studio will be making invaluable contributions to key PlayStation Studios franchises." Valkyrie Entertainment has already been involved with some first-party PlayStation titles like God of War 4, 2018, and its upcoming sequel, God of War Ragnarok, but has been around the industry as well, helping develop games such as Middle-earth Shadow of War and League of Legends. The last studio acquisition by PlayStation was Blue Point Games, the team behind the remakes of Shadow of the Colossus and Demon's Souls. With Valkyrie Entertainment, the PlayStation Studios developer count is now up to 17 major teams, not including the litany of external partners PlayStation also has relationships with. It is currently unclear whether Valkyrie Entertainment is currently working on or continuing support of titles published outside of PlayStation exclusivity. PlayStation continues to play a different game from Xbox regarding its studio acquisitions. Like any sports team, it seems like PlayStation is trying to balance its big-name studios like Santa Monica Studio, Guerrilla Games, Sucker Punch, Naughty Dog, and Insomniac with smaller yet equally reliable studios in order to support the projects of the former group. AAA first-party games take millions of dollars to make, and can be spread across hundreds of people. By adding teams that are intrinsically involved in development as opposed to being outsourced, chances are game development will proceed much smoother and more in line with PlayStation Studios' overall vision. If they want to go aggressive, they can. Speaking of PlayStation, it appears that Sony is responding to the frustrations of its smaller partners by looking to repair its relationships with indie developers. Sony is currently sitting on top of a variety of major IPs. Back in July, a report explored the ways Sony was making life hard for indie developers. A list that included providing developers with overly complex tools and forms, unclear processes, and very poor lines of communication. Furthermore, the report claimed that Sony was providing so little advertising effort that the indie developer who published it could no longer see a reason to work with Sony at all, which is an exaggeration, in my opinion. More recently, a document entitled 2021 Global Partner Survey Results has been sent out to several of Sony's partner publishers and developers as a follow-up to a survey that had been conducted previously. This short document doesn't directly mention the complaints from the summer, but it does identify 3 target areas for improvement based on survey results, areas that directly correspond to the issues brought up by indie developers over social media and in articles. Combined with the care Sony has taken with marketing Solar Ash, Little Devil Inside, Bugsnax, Chicory A Colorful Tale, Five Nights at Freddy's, Taya, Saifu and Kina Bridge of Spirits, this suggests that change is coming. In the document, Sony pledges to reduce complexity for indie developers through a number of ways, including improving communication channels, giving enough detail for partners to make decisions, and clarifying who publishers should take concerns to. The company also pledges to give all active publishing and developing partners access to better game sales, engagement, and promotion analytics on top of better discoverability. With luck, this will address the issue of smaller indie games not selling on PS4. Finally, Sony claims that it will make modernizing its toolset and improving its ticketing systems, documentation, and customer service efforts for partner issues a priority goal. Reportedly, Sony is already working to improve its communication and partnerships with some of its smaller publishing partners. Not only did the Sony State of Play branding give equal attention to indie games this year, but Akupra Games CEO David Logan also says that Akupra's account manager and head of PlayStation creators Greg Rice reached out to him personally. Afterward, David Logan stated that his issues with Sony's previously sluggish response times had drastically reduced. Several other indie creators agreed that Sony now seemed to be taking their concerns more seriously. PlayStation has been doing a lot of support for indies lately, dedicating a separate section for them in the PlayStation Store, but some indie games tends to miss the mark on day and date release for PlayStation platforms. And it is good to see that they are fixing the issues and improving the indie support. Sony has officially announced and debuted several palettes of its associable PlayStation 5 console covers. Dubbed the Galaxy Collection, these covers include color palettes for Midnight Black, Cosmic Red, Nova Pink, Starlight Blue, and Galactic Purple. It is uncertain whether plans were always in place to supply fans with different colored faceplates or if competition nudged Sony into securing its patent, but their functionality suggests that it was always a viable option down the road. These faceplate accessories are beautiful and easy to use, with instructions on how to swap covers being to simply remove your original white PS5 console covers and click your new ones into place. However, Sony's colored console faceplates will apparently have staggered and relatively undetermined release windows. While Midnight Black and Cosmic Red covers will become available starting in January 2022, Nova Pink, Galactic Purple, and Starlight Blue will not be released until sometime in the first half of 2022. The Midnight Black and Cosmic Red console covers, which in turn match the currently available DualSense palettes of the same names, will be available for purchase from the PlayStation Direct store on January 21st. Rather, they will not be available within physical retailers until February 18th, which may mean that fans will have to get into store queues as soon as they open unless they do not mind waiting another month to shop for them on their own terms. As highly praised as they have been, the offering of different colors for the PS5 DualSense controller has been sorely lacking since release. That looks to be changing, as Sony has finally announced that the highly praised PS5 DualSense controller is getting 3 new colors. PlayStation is now starting to flush out its DualSense color options a year after the release of the PS5, and 8 months after its first new colors were made available. The PS5 DualSense colors are sticking to the space-themed naming convention, adding Nova Pink, Starlight Blue, and Galactic Purple into the fold. These flashy new colors will join the Cosmic Red and Midnight Black offerings that were released in early 2021. These new colors now bring the color options of the DualSense controllers to 6, including the base white. According to PlayStation, these new colors will be released in January 2022 and will cost US $74.99, a bit more than the standard price for PS5 DualSense. These new colors match the PS5 covers that were announced in the same PlayStation blog post. The controllers will be released through participating retailers, as well as PlayStation Direct. The controller has been popular in the gaming community since its announcement thanks to its haptic feedback and adaptive triggers system that gives players an added dimension of immersion in the games they play that have DualSense support. It's still the early days of the PlayStation 5 and the DualSense controller. Even so, fans have been clamoring for more color availability and customization, while Sony cautiously times the release of their products. Sony fans have reverted to creating their own custom controllers in the interim, with some unique and creative results. Third-party peripheral makers SCUF only recently released their line of high-accessible PS5 controllers as an upgrade to the DualSense for competitive gameplay. Sony finally feels comfortable adding new colors to its controller lineup. Can't help but feel like Sony is on the back foot when it comes to having more color options for its controllers, as Xbox has been offering not only a kaleidoscope of new colors for the Xbox controllers, but a full design lab that allows players to make their own custom controllers. The one area that Xbox is doing better in gaming than PlayStation is that the custom consoles and controllers they make. PlayStation really need to step their game up and release custom-made PS5 faceplates and DualSense controllers, as they should have had ones for Marvel's Spider-Man, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Demon's Souls, and definitely should do for Horizon Forbidden West, Gran Turismo 7, and God of War Ragnarok and beyond. These new colors are good, but custom-made stuff for individual games will be great, and I am heavily looking forward to that. Since the first God of War released in 2005 for the PlayStation 2, through the realms of Greek and, more recently, Norse mythology, it has become an iconic franchise within the gaming industry. Kratos has become one of the most well-recognized characters in gaming, and the God of War franchise has become a staple of the third-person action genre. However, recent revelations from director David Jaffe suggest that God of War's gory action wasn't always intended to be third-person. God of War is no stranger to changing up the long-running franchise's formula, especially in recent games. 2018's God of War 4 saw the franchise taking its mythology-themed action in a new direction, shifting its focus from the classic Greek mythology that had guided the series into a direction inspired by Norse mythology. The reimagining also saw Kratos shedding his classic chained blades and reworking the overall feel of the game into something more impactful. Now, David Jaffe has revealed that God of War's original incarnation was intended to be first-person. A recent video on Jaffe's YouTube channel revealed that his vision for God of War originally planned to tell its Greek mythos-based story directly through the eyes of the mighty Kratos. According to Jaffe, the game's first-person perspective was inspired by his experience playing a first-person action game called Make an X on Dreamcast. However, according to Jaffe, issues with how God of War's story would be presented ultimately led to the idea being shelved before it was even pitched to the game's programmer, Tim Moss. Jaffe goes on to cite how he felt that a first-person perspective wouldn't be able to portray the proper emotion behind God of War's story through a first-person perspective. The first God of War game would ultimately shift into a third-person style. Jaffe references several other aspects of God of War's development throughout the video as well, explaining how systems like the game's QuickTime events and climbing systems were made. With the God of War franchise building towards its next release in God of War Ragnarok, I believe that more major changes are coming for the long-running action franchise. Comments from the game's director suggest the finale of the franchise's Norse saga may end with a big twist. Santa Monica Studio has also shared several pieces of content for the upcoming God of War Ragnarok, showing off new content and regions. While God of War may have shifted significantly from David Jaffe's original vision for the game, the franchise's success as a third person certainly speaks for itself, and I am happy that God of War turned out third person for good. God of War is the greatest universe ever made, and my favorite of all time. Even today we discuss God of War theories, hidden details, and discoveries made in God of War games, including the first one. And it must say that God of War became an entity that influenced gaming as a whole. And that's all for the video, guys. Like and share the video for a greater audience. Comment your thoughts on the topics, and donations are always appreciated. Subscribe to the channel and click the bell icon, and until then, from SMPV, it's goodbye.